In this video, I'm going to have a look at this Holman Aspect Wireless Data Center. This is one of those weather station things. I think it's got the wireless bit goes on the roof, or it's wirelessly connected to that. Obviously, you've got to have batteries in each half, which makes it a bit of a pain because you've got to change the batteries in this thing occasionally. Hopefully, they last a long time. Weather vane with wireless indoor sensor display panel. I was walking through Bunnings one day and saw this. I thought I always wanted one of those things. I can't remember what it cost. It wasn't too expensive. And that was probably 2 or 3 years ago, and still haven't got around to doing much other than having a quick look at it once. So let's see what we got here. And whether we've got some old batteries in here somewhere that have all gone leaky all over it. That's the screen part. Hygro sensor. That probably goes up in that, maybe. We've got a wind sensor. Oh, it's wind direction. Nice, what looks like stainless steel mounting part. Oh, we've got a rain sensor, I assume that is. Rain drops down in there and goes through something that measures how much of that there is. There's our wind speed. I've actually got telephone type RJ whatever plugs. Probably not the best for outdoors. Got our batteries. I'm just worried that we've got leaky batteries somewhere. That might all be hardware in there, I think. Maybe it didn't come with batteries. Let's hope not. All mounted in this big egg carton thing. So hopefully it's got decent plastic to last out in the weather, but you wouldn't count on it with these things. And we've got some instructions here, so that should make life a little bit easier. Guess these all plug into one thing that sends the signal out. Package contents. Outdoor sensor. Frequency 917 megahertz. Does 100 meters transmission in an open area. I'm not sure if it'll work. Oh yeah, not included batteries. Oh, that's something good. I'm actually glad they didn't include any with this because they probably would have leaked by now. Oh, it hasn't been that long, I guess, but you can't trust them these days. Looks like this is how we assemble it. Oh, I missed number one. Where's that? Fit the wind speed sensor to the end of the U-shaped plastic bracket. So that was that thing. U-shaped plastic bracket. That'd be that one, I guess. Oh yes, wind direction one end, wind speed the other. Probably doesn't matter which goes where. What actually holds these together? I guess we've got to find the little pins or whatever they are. Oh yeah, got little 3-prong things, but I guess those circles have to, yeah, just press it home till the holes line up, I guess. And I assume we put this one on the other. Wind speed sensor. Looks like they show wind direction sensor. The other end. That ain't right. That's it. Just go the other way. Point north when installing. Well, I guess that would help, wouldn't it? Because you really do need it to know which way it's pointing for it to tell you which way the wind's going. Seems like fairly solid plastic, but of course you don't know what it's going to do in the sun. It looks like we've got a little cable management system here, which is good. Oh yeah, that should work rather well. Although that one's not so great. Whether I have everything in the right position, but it should be close enough. Ah, come off again. I better find what we've got to pin it in place with. What does it say? Fit it and connect the cable on the wind speed sensor. Oh, it's got a socket up in here. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that out in the weather so much, but anyway. Okay, so this has got a bigger wire. So this has to come across the other side. Oh, yeah, it makes it. We just go to one side of that, probably doesn't matter which. Maybe it goes the other side. to keep it in, yeah, locked in there. I think you've got to go on one particular side. Yeah, that stays locked into the little cable holder things there. This one, how do these work? Those ones don't really want to lock it in. Maybe you've got to push it under them a bit more. That's probably it. Plug that into there. I can get it in there. Come on. That goes there. That cable must go elsewhere. Where'd that hardware go? But it's about time I got out and actually installed this thing, I think. A lot of little pins or long screws or whatever. Probably a long screw with a nut. Maybe some brackets. I don't really need something to put these in, but what have I got dynabolts for? Is that to mount it to a wall or something? Not going to need them. Don't think we need them. So just got a lot of long. Probably best to match a nut to a screw and keep them together. Should make them a bit harder to lose. I think we need the long ones for these ones, so I'll put the short ones together. I like the cross thread. That's all these short ones. Come on, fairly little. And I think we're short a few nuts, that's handy. Or one. Unless it's here somewhere, but no, I think we're short one. I assume these are going to go through here somewhere. Oh yeah, the captive nut thing on the back, so that's good. You just drop that in there and it stops it turning. And it doesn't go through. There we go. Are they too long for this? No, it's not going in the nut yet. Oh, there we go. Hopefully that'll stop everything falling apart. And I guess we better tighten them while we think of it, so they don't shake loose in the wind. Probably should read the instructions, but I think that looks about right. Now I think that goes on the end of our pole. And it's got the little thing to stop it rotating, so I guess that's where one of these other long screws is going to go. So do we need to mount these other things? Yeah, they obviously slide up the pole. I'm sure we can do it with this in place, can't we? Mount the rain gauge onto the plastic bracket. Oh, so it's got a plastic bracket to go with it. That must be what these 4 of those short screws are for. Here we go. Helps if the connector doesn't go underneath it. Oh, that's pretty straightforward. Well, which side does it go on? Does it matter? I think that's dual-sided sort of thing. Doesn't have any cable things. Now, do we don't have any captive nut things. Which way, whether it matters. Guess the nut should maybe go out of the weather. Looks like they're possibly stainless steel or something, so the Chinese do have a habit of faking what looks like stainless steel and then rusts very quickly. Is that magnetic, that screwdriver? Yeah, it is. So it is probably stainless steel. That's good. I Otherwise this thing will never come apart again after a few years out in the rain and weather. Other fiddly little things. Oh, if I stuffed up here, there's actually two different sizes. Now there are shorter ones. Oh, they're probably for those. So it looks like there's two shorter screws. I just realised I just assumed all the short ones or shorter ones were the same. They're probably to hold the brackets on the metal pipe, hopefully. That's why I should really read every bit of instructions. But there's 4 of these and there's only 2 of those others. Though we're still going to mount whatever that other thing is. Probably should really hold the nut with the pliers to get them really tight. But you don't want to overdo them with plastic. Now the plastic brackets A, B and C onto the stainless steel mast. Well, I've already done one of them. Yeah, unless there's a nut hiding in there, I think we're sure. Oh no, there's the nut, it is hiding in there. How the hell did it get in there? Must have been inside one of those Dynabolts somewhere, probably jammed in part of them. So they didn't rip us off. Now, do they go in any particular order? Looks like the rain gauge comes up next, and then the thermo hygro sensor. So I guess we can flip them around any way we like. I think that's what these short ones are for, given there's 2 of them. Doesn't matter, should they all go on one plane flat, I guess. Must put the other long screw goes through there. I think they say mount this first and then mount the bits to it. And this has got the connectors. That obviously goes to that end down there somewhere. That's where your batteries go. You need to put them in first, possibly. Or have they made it so we can actually change this? There's the hole. Ah, some idiot put it on upside down. Well, easy to fix that. Didn't even check. I thought it was a hole right through it, but there you go, it's not. That's probably a bit better. And does that go a particular way or anything? What I was trying to work out is, can we get this battery on and off? Battery cover on and off? Looks like you can. How on earth do we plug these other things into it? I guess we're going to have to go a lot higher up for starters. Oh yeah, so this one hangs down. Oh, there's plenty of length there after all. Wind and rain. So that's wind direction. I thought that cord was way too short to reach that, so it looks like you just go directly to it. I was kind of assuming it came down the post. So it looks like though this is a bit sketchy. Cables going just all over the place out in the open. Not particularly nicely put together. Though, if we move that up a bit, we can probably at least cable tie it on there or something. I don't think it really matters where this thing goes. Oh, but now we've got the problem, we've got to get it down inside the cover too, haven't we? So we do need to go pretty high. So they've got to come out through there, I think. So how this works, we've got, what do we got? I think we go that way. Yeah, a couple of indents down each side. And the house. Does that not have anything to hold? It's got a couple of like screw holes there, but I think it just sits on there. Wonder how long that's going to last in a strong wind. What is it? We've got one screw left. Oh, that must be one thing I haven't done is, of course, better at least attach that bit. Let's just kind of press fit that out a bit. Ah, come on. Oh, that's tight. There we go. Ah, that won't come back up. That's a very tight fit. Given the wind we get here, I might even put a cable tie. I think you could slip one up and round this bit just to cable tie it down to this bit, I think. Unless they show any other way of mounting it. I think that is probably worth quite tight. Well, then again, it's not that tight. I can see that going flying in the wind. Now the rain gauge cables are secure. Take the house, slide it over 4 small guide marks to help locate it properly. Well, I should have put some batteries in there first, but anyway. Internal external units must connect through wireless communication. Initial power routine allows this to happen. Very important, both have batteries installed within 3 minutes of each other. Ah. Don't install the batteries yet. We can install the batteries before you assemble the sensor unit. Batteries must be installed in both the internal and external units almost simultaneously. Well, that's a bit of a trick. Why don't they tell you at the beginning? Maybe they did, but I mean, they don't mention putting them in there, but normally the warning bit should be at the beginning. Internal one unit, cover on the back, insert 2 AAs. External, slide away the lid and fit those. Inserted both sets of batteries within 3 minutes of each other. 2 units will automatically sync up. You know, this will happen when the outside temperature, humidity, wind speed shows on the main unit. If this does not happen, press the alarm button for more than 3 seconds and the units will re-establish the wireless connection. If this still fails to connect them, remove both sets of batteries 5 to 10 minutes. So have time to reset themselves and reinstall though, so maybe you can just reset it anyway. At least it's not a major hassle. After replacing batteries in either of the units, press the alarm button for more than 3 seconds to allow synchronization. So that's the main synchronization thing. Checking the wireless connection is achieved and maintained. There's a red LED on the outside bit that should be flashing once a minute. Make sure the plugs and rain are plugged in. Yeah, before installing the outside unit, test that they connect. RF symbol will flash on the LCD. And once they are communicating, install the outside unit. Hints for installation. Needs to be in a free air where the wind is flowing freely and rainfall is unimpeded. Good places on a sewer vent pipe. Goes above the roof line of the house or shed. Fixing the vent pipe, use 3 or 4 cable ties and secure the stainless steel pole in place. Ensuring the sensors are above the vent pipe. And you must orientate it facing north. Once the sensor is installed, set the main internal receiver unit. It's got a clock. Rainfall can be in millimeter or inches. and resyncing it again. Initial adjustments, very easy. So the altitude setting. Oh yeah, reading in meters. So you set your height above or below sea level. I guess a few people are below it. Not too many places on Earth, I don't think, but or at least not ones that aren't filled with water. Snooze button. The weather forecast flash. You can change this forecast to match what best fits your current weather conditions. Setting a date, time, degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit, pressure in, what's that, hectopascals, is it? Or inches of Hg, mercury. Rainfall in millimeters or inches. So for all you Americans, you can have your Fahrenheit and your inches of mercury and inches of rainfall. And your 24 clock mode, temperature alert on off, so it can actually alert you. So if it reaches a certain range, I guess, temperature alert setup. Max min, that's always handy to have a maximum minimum. I used to have an old mercury thermometer with maximum and minimum. I had the maximum minimums for quite a while, and then I don't know whatever happened to it. It disappeared. But that had the maximum minimum for a good 10 or 15 years on that one, I think. Just had little red bits of stuff in the tube where the mercury flowed, and it would push them. That was always good to see what the highest temperature and lowest had been. Now, well, it looks pretty simple, so we're really just going to open this up, put some batteries in and test it for now. Obviously got all its fake display on there at the moment. Stop it getting scratched in the box or anything. So, 2 AAs in there. Just get that off. Well, I guess we can put one in each. We can see if we can synchronise it perfectly, just for the people with OCD out there. Look at that. Definitely less than 3 minutes. If it's showing stuff, which it is, temperature, humidity, I guess. Oh, it's in. Oh, it's the in sensor, so that's only the one in here, so I haven't synchronized yet. It shows something about an RF sensor somewhere. We've got pressure. I don't think we've got a wind direction or anything yet. Our pressure's doing something. Did we have to press something, or is it going to do it automatically? Let's see about the moon on there. Oh, here it is. There's the little flashing wireless indicator. I think they said that would do that for a bit. Oh, here we go. Well, it's 13 degrees down here, and it's 15.2 degrees up on, well, where is the sensor? Probably in that humidity thing. I'll put the cover back over that. So there's a 2 degree, or not even quite that, and different humidity between the bench and slightly above the bench. You'd hope that would be a bit closer, but maybe not. Oh yeah, wind due south. And of course we'd have to put some water in. Let's move that around. Still due south. That might take a while to reset though. Knowing the wind thing. Let's see if I can get any kilometres an hour here. Not the greatest contrast on this thing. I don't know if that's adjustable. No, we've got no wind speed either. I'll plug them in the right holes. Got 0.7 millimeters rain though. Maybe I didn't plug in the right holes. That's rain, that's wind. Hey, the wind directions changed. I thought it would take a little while probably to update. It's moving around again on its own. Maybe the wind speed takes a while to, or does it need to go even faster? I guess if it's kilometres an hour, you probably got to spin it a bit. Oh, I'm getting no wind speed. Oh, let's see, you've got to look at it from above by look at it, is where the good contrast is. Oh, wind just went up to 6 kilometres, so it is a bit slow. Often these things don't respond to every little breeze. You've got to have like a, I guess the wind actually blowing for a while before it will register any wind at all. Otherwise it's just a breeze. And we're now facing southwest here. That thing swung right round. Big bit is, the big fin I guess is the direction it's pointing. It's slowly moving back to north. We've got 3.9 millimetres of rain according to this, so I don't know what that's getting. Just a bit of dust has fallen in there. How do we reset anything on this? Snooze light. I didn't read that bit. Let's have a look. Well, it probably resets for you, does it? I assume the rainfall display. Yes, we know it can be millimetres and inches. Press to show the rainfall in 1 hour, then for 24 hours, and again for the total. Oh, okay. And then press same button for more than 3 seconds to delete the volume. There's 1 hour and you delete the data, the other options will be unchanged. So you can just delete 1 hour, 24 hour, or everything, I guess. Goes up to 999 millimetres. That's not good. This maximum display or flash, the data must be deleted by manual selection or not update past these readings. So I guess if you're doing a long-term reading, which button is it? The negative button. Oh, there you go. Yesterday, total today, 6.3 millimetres. And what do we do? Do we hold that button, did it say? More than 3 seconds to delete our 6.3 millimetre reading. Yeah, I don't know what that's picking up. Ah, well, that could be rather useful. I guess the rainfall thing should actually be pointing in a different direction here so that we get it out in the open. Don't really want it in line with the water dripping off the wind speed sensor or anything. See if these temperatures at least try and humidity is kind of similar, and that's reflecting everything. Yeah, the humidity and temperature are getting closer together now. That's all lying flat on the bench here. But that looks pretty good. I'll have to mount that somewhere on the roof and see if it actually gets through a metal shed. That's going to be the next fun part. But if I put it somewhere near where the windows are, I don't think I'll attach it to the chimney flue. That could be bad for it. But I don't think I can put it on the eave. Maybe on the end of the building I can fit it. Actually, should be some timber I can screw it on, like where there's no guttering. So I think I'll do that. The other option is I could always mount a TV antenna bracket. I've got a couple of those lying around. You can get one that goes on the slope of the roof just through a couple of the roofing bolts, and then you can adjust the angle of it until it's upright. That'd be perfect for one of these actually. Or you could use your hockey stick type thing off the fascia board or something. So the TV antenna bracket would probably be the ideal thing in many ways. If you don't have anything existing like a vent pipe, or if your vent pipe is somewhere where you're not going to get through the building well to the actual display unit, because if it's a decent distance, it's probably not going to work the best, especially through metal roofs and stuff. Yeah, quite a good little unit. Also got a pressure history that actually shows what it has been doing over the day. Yeah, interesting. Oh well, looks like a not a bad little unit. Simple enough to put together. And yeah, plenty more to read in here about the various little features. So you've got your moon phase display. You save data to show the moon phase. Does that mean, do we have to set the clock to a particular year or anything? Or does it use the, no, it wouldn't have a light sensor or anything, I wouldn't think. It may have something, oh, was that it? Because I mean, these things are known in advance. Set the time, date, 24-hour, day MD. Yeah, so you select the year and the month. So this would probably know the data for all the moon phases. Since they have been calculated for a long time now, humans have known how to calculate all that. So this would have something programmed into it to know what phases of the moon align with what date. So that's good. You don't have to really set anything other than the current date and time, which looks like quite a bit of messing around, but I'll get that set up. I better make sure it actually communicates with the unit where I want to mount it. So it looks like this thing's just basically designed. It does have one little screw mount, but then it's got a piece sticking out the back. So this is really made to sit on a surface, sit on a desk or something somewhere, I guess. I was thinking it would be nice to wall mount it somewhere, but I guess with a long enough screw you can actually hang it somewhere. Probably not the best, but it would do the job. But then you have to take it off to get to set anything. So probably best made to sit on top of something, not too far away. It shouldn't be too hard to read from a reasonable distance. At least the main stuff. I guess even probably the wind speed you wouldn't be reading, but the wind direction you could see from a distance. Some of those smaller digits, not so easy to read, but the main big ones should be alright. But the main thing is it's just a bit more fancy than a clock with temperature, which are always handy to have. And of course with the calendar as well. So it's actually got a few useful things on here. Always handy to have a clock with the date and the temperature. This just adds a bit more pressure, wind direction, wind speed, phase of the moon, and any rainfall you've had, which I would like to know the rainfall. We've actually gone to 3.1 millimeters again. I'm not sure what's causing that. Maybe me bumping this thing around is causing something in there to do something. Interesting to actually try it. I might even put a set measure in there and see if it does measure correctly. I'm sure it probably would. It looks like it's got arrows for whether the temperature's going up, not moving, or down maybe as well. Not sure if that's what those arrows are indicating. Do we have a down arrow? I think there's more than two there, but hard to see on this LCD. Yeah, it might give you an indication whether we've got rising temperatures, falling temperatures, or steady. So usually you're fairly aware of what the temperature is doing anyway, but I guess if you're inside and you don't know what it's doing outside, you've got aircon or whatever, and sitting at a fixed temperature, it can sort of show you what the trend is. And let's turn our wind thing around. How long does that take to reset? Actually, that wasn't going northeasterly. Is it going to reset? I guess when the wind's swinging around all over the place, you don't want it to change its reading too often. But then again, I guess it's a bit variable. No, I don't think that's working. Spin around all over the place. Maybe I'm moving it too much. Let's let it go to the south by gravity. Stop swinging around. Oh yeah, now it's pointing roughly south. which it is, probably a little bit. Let us southeasterly or whatever come in. How long does it take to update? Should be either southeast or southwest at the moment. What are we? North. Yeah, oh, yeah, there we go. Northwest. Oh, so it's pointing. It isn't the big end, it's the small end. So on northwest. Let's spin around to north, and we've got 29 seconds. There we go. So it was around 45 seconds. Well, that's like watching paint dry. See if it resets again around the minute. Maybe it's 15 past the minute or something around there, but yeah, now we're going easterly, so anyway, I think we want a few cable ties to hold these cables out of the way a bit. That's a bit short now, so I'm going to have to move these up the post a bit more, which probably makes sense because you don't want too much post. Want a bit of post you can actually attach to something. Although that's going to start crashing into things. Maybe I should keep that off to another angle. Maybe I could go the other way. I guess that's another option. I don't think it matters too much if it's getting a bit close to the wind sensor. Cable tie them on. I think I'll cable tie this cover down because I don't trust that not to blow away. I guess that's the point. If I make it so it crashes into this other one, it can't go anywhere, can it? Maybe I should shove it right under there. Probably wouldn't matter if I did, actually. Let's have a look at what they've got on their picture. And they show the other ones, so these on the 90 degrees out to those ones by look at opposite each other. Yeah, they've just got the wires just hanging in the breeze. Yeah, not the prettiest thing. I guess they didn't actually, or what I saw, they didn't mention this, but what I've got, I've got 4 bolts, so you could basically put it into brickwork or something with these Dynabolts. Should be well more than enough. They're actually possibly stainless steel, which is nice. Not cheap to buy the stainless ones. So at least I scored a few good stainless Dynabolts maybe out of it. I think they are actually stainless. So if you've got a masonry building, you can drill it into the brickwork. On a chimney or something would be an ideal, especially not a chimney that's not used in particular. You don't really want it where it's going to get soot and hot air all over it, probably melt the thing, as well as cover it all with soot and ruin all the sensors and gum everything up. But yeah, a bit of cable ties might tidy this thing up and make it a bit nicer. Yeah, we can certainly make that one follow the rain to there, and that probably does need to be a bit higher so that I can tidy that one up. A couple of white cable ties maybe, even though they're not really UV proof. You can't see them. And yeah, I think at least with that it can lift up, but it can't blow away. Don't know how good that battery box is going to be out in the rain and stuff. To be honest, I don't think it's going to be the best. I see plenty of moisture getting in there. And the whole thing doesn't look the most waterproof, but sort of thing I guess you buy it, and if you get 5 to 10 years out of it, you're doing all right. It's probably not going to last out in the weather for too much longer than that, but you never know, it may do. But I mean, these connectors don't have anything under them, so if you sort of like get in the fog and stuff like I do, and dampness and water on everything, I reckon things are going to corrode on this thing. And the other ones are just under these cover sort of things, so yeah, I can see those connectors. It's almost tempting to put a blob of silicone all over that and seal it up. But I might put it out for a while and see, maybe have a look at it after a year or something and see what it's like. The winters here are pretty cold and wet, so I can see this thing getting damp and corroded. So it's not the greatest weatherproofing if you make something to put outside, it should really be sealed up a lot better than this thing. I'm sure the rain will just drip off it and stuff, but when you get fog and all the rest, you're going to get in frost and condensation and stuff. Probably won't be so good, but in a dry area, this thing would probably last a good long while. Looks like it's all working, and I'll be interested to set that up, at least use it over the summer. I guess the other option is bring it indoors in the winter, take it off the roof completely to preserve it, but kind of defeats the purpose of it if you can't see the weather in winter when it is probably at its worst. But anyway, it's an interesting little device, so thanks for watching.